Jesus Biafra, we have emerged triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious, our trumpets pealing the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. Oh, hail Biafra, we shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes, our prayer shall be known both day and night. Say them always, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, Biafra, shining forever.
In the heart of Biafra's land, where courage blooms, Mazinamti Kanu stands, defying darkened tombs. A beacon of hope, a voice unyielding. He fights for justice, freedom, heart's true healing. Mazi Esume Sumwe Kwensu, your spirit ablaze, guiding your people through the tumultuous mazes. From prison walls you sing defiance and truth, a symphony of liberation, unwavering in you. Freedom, freedom, let it echo across the hills, where rivers flow and dreams ascend, where hope fulfills. Biafra's anthem rises, carried by winds so strong, a melody of resilience, a battle cry, a lifelong song. Chains may bind, but not the soul. Mazinamti Kanu, your purpose takes its toll. The world may turn away, blind to your plight, yet your flame burns brighter, igniting the fight. Behind prison bars you weave tales of courage, a tapestry of resistance woven without rage. Your words pierce the silence like sunbeams through rain, calling for freedom's dawn, breaking every chain. Freedom, freedom, let it echo across the hills, where rivers flow and dreams ascend, where hope fulfills. Biafra's anthem rises, carried by winds so strong, a melody of resilience, a battle cry, a lifelong song. Life on some way, somewhere, so you're next in time. canoe, your purpose takes its toll. The world may turn away, blind to your plight, yet your flame burns brighter, igniting the fight. Behind prison bars, you weave tales of courage, a tapestry of resistance woven without rage. Your words pierce the silence like sunbeams through rain, calling for freedom's dawn, breaking every chain. Freedom, freedom, let it echo across the hills, where rivers flow and dreams ascend, where hope fulfills. Biafra's anthem rises, carried by winds so strong, a melody of resilience, a battle cry, a lifelong song. Life also es un buen cuento, journey etched in time, a warrior for justice, a poet of rhyme. May your spirit soar beyond prison walls and make Biafra's freedom reign as destiny calls. This song is a creative expression and tribute Mazinamde Kanu's situation is complex, and this song does not capture all aspects. Let us continue to hope for justice and peace. Dun dun. Woven without rage, your words pierce the silence like sunbeams through rain, calling for freedom's dawn, breaking every chain. Freedom, freedom, let it echo across the hills, where rivers flow and dreams ascend, where hope fulfills. Biafra's anthem rises, carried by winds so strong, a melody of resilience, a battle cry, a lifelong song. Life also es un buen cuento, journey etched in time, a warrior for justice, a poet of rhyme. May your spirit soar beyond prison walls and make Biafra's freedom reign as destiny calls. This song is a creative expression and tribute Mazinamde Kanu's situation is complex, and this song does not capture all aspects. Let us continue to hope for justice and peace. Dun dun.
Hello, my wonderful people of Biafra, friends of Biafra, and lovers of freedom. This is Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu. As I welcome you to this wonderful edition, please endeavor to welcome others. It's very important. We are live at our various platform. We are live on S-Space, on S-Ando. Chukwud Benjamin Ezumezu. If you're hearing the sound of our voice from that end, please endeavor to hit the like button. It's very important. We are also live on YouTube. Ikechukwu Ezumezu. If you're hearing the sound of our voice, please endeavor to hit the like button. It's very, very important. And we are live on Facebook. On our clip page on Facebook, Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu, Ikechukwu Umadi, and Ikechukwu, and I beg your pardon, and Ikechukwu Umadi Ezumezu. This platform on Facebook, we are live there. You can get us there live, and please endeavor to hit the like button and share the program. It's very, very important. So our guest is here already. We cannot waste much of your time. But before we proceed, we must recognize those that's on the platform now, watching us. We must recognize the state coordinator from America, Mazi Cosmos Zulu. Mazi Cosmos Zulu, you are welcome, sir. Go, sir. We must also recognize the national coordinator from Italy, Mazi Ogol. Obiukwu Ogolo, Mazi Ogolo, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. You know, today's program is going to be tough. It's this hard talk. Unu ma that I've been a hard talk. I only ezo. The hard talk. And our guest today is former South African National PRO, Mazi Nnachi. Mazi Nnachi is man enough. Mazi Nnachi will nwoke the beer to me. For mụ nwa nwoke the beer because ọ dịrị izi ọkwụla no. Or say that ihe maybe also maybe no you so no you making no you so we edozi. So that's why we are here. Let's hear from him how these cabals in DOS, China Sawankita, Chika Paul Edoziem, Edoziem, how they create a lot of major problems in South Africa. Today's program, one day, so let's welcome our guest. It's very important. No? Mazi, you are welcome to the program. Mazi, we cannot hear you.
All right. Mazi Ndewo.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, welcome to the program, Mazi.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mazi.
Yeah, Mazi, please, I would like you to introduce yourself to Biafrans, please. It's very important.
Okay, Mazi, my name is Mazi Aga Nnachi. I hail from Biafra land, particularly in Amasere, in under Afikpo local government area of Ebonyi province of Biafra land. And I reside here in South Africa and have served as the South African National PRO of Ipob South Africa. That is Public Relation Officer. And I'm proud of myself that I did a good service to the extent that if I was under the chain of command of a good and trusted leadership, I could have been the best PRO that South Africa had ever produced. And people can confirm that I did my job as a PRO. Thank you so much.
Mazi, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mazi. So, Biafrans, you have heard what he said. He's serving in IPOB. He's not another member. As a matter of fact, he's been there. They make decisions in South Africa. We all know what happened in South Africa. We all know. But before we move on, we have to recognize the deputy state coordinator in US, Mazi Chris. Mazi Chris, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome. And two people will join us because I actually two people will join us for to ask questions. The national PLO in America, Mazi Chukwuemeka Iwagu, national PLO in America, and another regional coordinator, Mazi Ichie. But others, when time for question comes, please, you can come in through the link or you write your question, then we expect our guests to give answer to it. On this hard talk, Mazi, this program is hard talk. On hard talk, even an attack on Mazi's Mezumwe program, Mazi and I will Ezoku Chineke. And Mazi, I will beg you, whatever you're going to say today will be truth. We are Ezoku Chineke. Does not matter how favor or no favor logo. Ezoku Chineke. Remember what our leader said. We have 4 cardinal points. In number 2, what's that? If you are the only one saying the truth there, remain there. So Biafrans, as you all know, I told you guys, I have a very small platform. But this platform kind of where Chika Paul Edoziem that is end. Yeah, John Joe well. On the make another on this platform, this is Chaka Media 1. Okay, Chukumetu seller. That what they are doing is not in line of what our leader said, and there will not be peace among them. Today, on them, China someone kitagwa mi agwa that oya mi avam nanya. But I Jesus we be millions someone like this in gem. If you are not honest in this journey, Chukwu Kikabia will expose you, including me, if I'm not honest. So we thank you, Mazi. Before Uh, before we continue, Mazi, as PRO, that office, that office, and it's a national. It serves as a national PRO in South Africa. That means that office is a big office, you know, and it's supposed to know the rules of engagement in IPOB, the code of conduct, what is said, everything. You could say, right?
Yes, Mazi.
Okay, thank you, Mazi. So, Mazi, why won't you put the code of conduct of IPOB, our Bible, aside, then go another way?
Mazi nwa Chineke ndewo. Amara, should I speak English or Nsugbe Igbo? Abụ m onye Igbo, na-azụkwa oyibo.
Maazị akụrụ Igbo asụrụ oyibo, akụrụ Igbo asụrụ oyibo nke ọbụla, yeah.
All right. Okay. Nke bụ eziokwu, like the truth to be told, we were more emphatic on the. Mazi, are you with me?
Yeah, we are listening to you.
All right. The main truth is that we are more emphatic on the side of command and control. I think we misinterpreted or misrepresented the issue of command and control. Though personally, I would always say, before they removed me, that is more reason they removed me, because I became stubborn when they give me command and I don't obey it. So we were more focused on command and control instead of dialogue before commanding. We emphasize more on command and control. That is what brought to set aside the rest of the code of conduct. And again, the main code of conduct that we set aside was the issue of our finance head, which I can tell you that up to today, the entire IPM South Africa, except the people, in fact, everyone, because the so-called national executives that works with Tony Nzurumikem and Chika Edoziem and obviously China Sanworu, all of them right now, they are not in good books with me. But then this our group now that are doing the job. As I said, this particular group are the people that are doing the job. And that is why I'm here, because whoever that does the job is who I follow. So this group that are doing the job, some of them, because of what I did, how I served the executive very well, like I'm proud of myself to render such a service. So because of the way I served the executive, they still so far somehow doesn't like me, because I was brutal. But I was just doing it in the sense to say this is code of conduct and we must follow it. And the code of conduct says command and control. What your superior officer says is what you take. So then we forget to say the part that says that the superior officer doesn't have any right to remove anybody from his position. And we proceeded anyhow, because we needed to bring people to one order, one leadership, one center of command. We wanted to make the national coordinator, obviously, that takes order from Tony Nzurumikem in person. We wanted to make sure that everybody aligns with his command without your opinion. So if you don't agree with him, the next plan is to remove you. That was the main thing we were doing as a national executive. That is how we managed to set aside the code of conduct. Thank you, Mazi.
Okay, there we are welcome, Mazi. You're welcome.
There we
No, and again, Mazi, you agree with me in our great family IPOB. The people on the continent, I'm talking about the continents now, that these cabals use to cause this problem in great family is from Africa continent. One is from Nigeria, as the Light TV. During the time of Nelly Ofuegbu used as the Light TV, that's Prince Darlington. In any movement, if you want to disorganize the movement, the only simple thing you need to do is to go to finance. The moment you go to finance, that's where the problem will start. Now, Nelly Ofuegbu used Prince Darlington as the Light TV. I warn them, they're using now, they say that Madam Nyanya blocked the money going to make a security network. Then at the end of the day, Nelly Ofebo up to today have not proved any single allegation against head of finance. Before then, Chukwudo Former, the head of media, come on Radio Biafra to tender apology to head of finance, Madam Nenyanya. We have the video and he said that they were overwhelmed. They don't know what is going on. That woman took them by surprise. As soon as we are recovering from them, recovering from what Prince Darlington did, guess what? He came from your end, South Africa. Chibuzie Guatu. I don't call him Ikenga because Ikenga the Benham. No? And Ikenga blog guy name. I want to know Ikenga. So after the real name is Chibuzie Guatu. So Chibuzie Guatu is the second one. That was where he started. Madam Nene has to audit account. Knowing full well that now, the only person that have the authority to ask Madam Nene to audit IPOB account is Onyenumazin Nandekano. It's in his code of conduct. Everything. Now, it started from South Africa. From there, Chibuzie Guatu, gather all those the Chaka media worm. Today, they are fighting themselves today. If you look what is going on today they are fighting themselves because Biafra Wawala. Now, Mazi, I want to play a clip. Your previously between you and Chibuzie Guatu. Then after we start, we take it up from there.
He's already dying. He's just like a fish that the water left. So, so that is exactly what you just read now. Is exactly what happened, my comrades.
All right. This national coordinator have been accused of many things. On a live interview, Nanyanya said that the national coordinator with his executive, personally, on your own, forged new account and command IPOB to be putting their money there. Why do you people have to forge account?
All right, my comrade, the new account is a must that every comrade in South Africa must deposit their money in that account, because there are two accounts which now is destroying those people in Western Cape, and the people are beginning to realize the truth. Because I always say it, Nenea comes to the air each and every time, and she mentions one account in South Africa. There are two accounts that she's aware of in South Africa. So now we demanded for audit for those two accounts. They could not present anything. So because they could not give us an audit for that account, we said instead of us to start withholding our money, we open a new account, we put the money, we put the money in that new account until Neneanya decides to audit the account and give us the account and tell us what has been happening in our account. Because this lady, I don't want to go there again, but anyway, this lady was able to just use our money, not Neneanya anyway, the one she installed in South Africa, to be her errand girl, and she can just call the lady from Europe, call the lady straight without calling from Germany, without calling the national coordinator. She will just call the lady and say, send me money, send money to so place, whatever that happens. So it was being coordinated between two of them. So the work of a coordinator was void. It was just silence. So that is what we cannot tolerate anymore. If anybody needs money anywhere in from South Africa, the person must contact the national coordinator. Then the national coordinator will contact the department which is under him. That is the hierarchy. That is what we are fighting for, and that is exactly what brought the division in that is what brought the fight we had in what do you call it, in Western Cape
Town.
Because in Cape Town. So because some comrades, they say they don't care if Nenea eat their money or not. But all we are doing is to bring order in IPOB. Nenea must call our national coordinator and request for any fund. Then it will be released to her.
If she wants to be a partaker, if she wants to be involved in the account, to be given a password to log into account, we are open for that. She has the right to do that. But before any money goes out, she must first call the national coordinator. And then the national coordinator will command the executive under him, under his administration, the department under his administration, to release the fund. That's all we are asking for. And we're not backing off on that.
Oh, okay. Tell me, because in IPOB, everyone is
Okay. Because the reason why I play this video for our audience to see, to know who you are, because some of them, I say, well, here was Mazi Ayan Naji, for them to know that what you just said, that the role you play, you are national PRO in South Africa. That's why we play these old videos, and it's important. And Mazi, before we go to this video to talk about, to ask you some questions for this video I just played, you said that no nye. So we want to know at some point that you see, no, I have to stop. I have to obey. I have to follow the principle of code of conduct. At some point, you realize that even your office is working against IPOB family. At what point?
All right. Mazen, can you hear me, Mazen?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. It's very, very clear. Maze Vitalis, he was IPOB former national secretary before we made a coup to demote him to diplomatic head. Then he went quiet. That's how we silenced him. So he has been talking to me consecutive times. We have been talking, and he's a gentleman. I've met him one-on-one, and we have sat down. We've talked over 10, and he tried to give me reasons why my path is the wrong path. But I'm a kind of a person that likes to protect a structure. And Mazen and they cannot brag so much when it comes to IPOB. So I always try to make sure that everything is in order. I was so sympathetic to Chika, Edoziem, to be honest with you. The moment I spoke to that guy, he has a very good enticing spirit. In fact, I felt deeply in love. Like I loved his everything, the way he talked, the way he just through a conversation or a meeting. So, but then this question kept on coming when Mazi Chima Vitalis keep asking me, Mazi, what are they doing for Biafra? It's fine. I just saw it as an opposition statement. That people always make opposition statement. They want to oppose one another. This one we say things against this one. With this one we say things against this one. That is how I kept placing it. Though I have also seen Chika, Edoziem, and China Sanworu and the rest of them speaking things against the other opposition. And I just felt like, what, people are just talking, just trying to convince other people. So I was always waiting for a tangible thing. So I had a quick communication with Mazi Vitalis, including Canon Takan. We had a brief meeting. So, and Canon tried to show me different court cases that he's handling, because these people were nowhere to be found. So I asked him a question: Who are you operating with? He said the original structure assigns me because no one is there to help. They have abandoned. They have closed all the accounts against Neneaya, who is our finance head, and they never released a memo anywhere. There is no memo from Chika Edoziem stating that Neneaya is no longer in charge of our account. So, but that is another story. So, but then at the end of the day, Kanunta tried to tell me that he's in charge of many cases. And I was like, wow, I think you are just, inside my heart, I felt like he's lying. He's just another liar trying to convince me for another thing. So I kept quiet for over 2 years, Mazi. For over 2 years, I've been knowing that Kanunta is in, I've been aware, but I didn't want to accept it that Mazi Kanunta is in charge of all the court cases. When I say all of the court cases, evidence from Mazi China Sanworu and the Chika Edoziem, all of them, is the evidence I can prove to all the Biafran is that when you listen to China Sanworu and all the people following him and Mazi, what do you call it, Chika Edoziem, you will see that they are all against every lawyer that Nnamdi Kanu has chosen, except Ejiofor. Why would they be against all the lawyers Nnamdi Kanu is choosing, has chosen? So now, the moment I saw the victory from Kenya through Mazi Kanu Takanu, I saw this is the light. They call them siblings or siblings of iniquity, whatever they call them. But I have an elder brother. I can tell you on air that my elder brother, I can take a bullet for him. Talk more of a general hero. How can Biafran believe that are you crazy? Do you have a brother? A general hero. So the moment I saw that, I started to make a U-turn. I say, you know what? I've misled people, because I can tell you that the voice note that I made went viral, and many units were destroyed, because even in the once you talk about money, their brain changes. So when we started the issue of account for us, we use it to destroy everything. So that issue of account was the main thing we used to destroy everything. And the question, the main thing that brought me back to retrace my word is no onye bu igu. I repeat, onye bu igu ka ewu na-eso. Whosoever knows the road is who we follow. If you are leading us somewhere, you must show us evidence of what you are doing. Evidence. Oburo abusive words on one another. I don't follow abusive words. I'm not a person that will join everybody to abuse one another. I'm a person that I need facts and figures. What are you doing for Biafrans? Oburo attacking your brother. You attack this one, you attack. What have you done? So what I'm doing now, I'm campaigning for people to start paying money back to the original account, to where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say we must pay money to. People must fall back in line. And that money is doing a very wonderful job. That money is doing a very good job. Nnamdi Kanu will say a very, very, very good job. So now, when we go back and put money into that account, Mazi, whoever that is in charge of the court cases, whoever that is paying the lawyers, whosoever that is in charge of the ESN, let them pay them, let them do work. We want to see something. It's not we are doing, it's not DOS is wise, no. Wise again in Hanaro underground. At least when you do underground work, after some time, you have to now go to what do you call roofing level. So we are still looking for roofing level. So the moment I saw that that this guy is not lying, these guys are not lying over what they are saying, it's fine. We can follow the code of conduct of command and control, the structure, the head of DOS. I understand that. It's fine. I don't dispute that. Let them remain the head of the Directorate of State, and then the deputy and China Samuru, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm saying is, what the people that are doing something and they're getting funds. So the moment I saw that, that's when I make a U-turn. I have been quiet for over 2 years, Mazi. I haven't come online to speak to anyone. I've been avoiding everybody. I said to everybody, you know what? Don't convince me. I'm not going to join you because I don't agree with what you are doing. And I am not going to talk against Chika, Edoziem, and Chika Samoro and them. Let me just keep quiet until Onyendu comes out. Then we know the way forward. But now, I don't need Onyendu to come out. Yes, Onyendu will come out, but I'm not waiting for Onyendu to come out for me to tell people that the Kwendin are. People are doing something. People are working. Take the money to the original account. It will be well handled. Bikon.
Yeah, Mazi. No. Mazi, we keep on your car because here even I don't go dark. You keep on your all too bright. I do okay. Okay, yeah. And they will Mazi. Yeah. Mazi, before I continue, one man didn't mention name here from Pretoria state or province in South Africa, Vitalis, right? Ibe, right? You know?
Yeah, Vitalis Ibe, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, man, open aga in our connect, that man will only eziokwu. You know? Yeah, man, but today is not for that program. Ọgbaju odolu, ọkpọ ọmọsụ maazị ezumezu ogene, nsi ya nwoke, na ebe nkwụ, kwudo there, no disappointment. Na nne m ọdịnala Ọdịnala ka m na-eme. Ọ na mma afụrụ eziokwu dị ya, I will not stand. Maazị, before I'm not a broadcaster. No. It will okay you carry. Ask him, you must come out. Now that Victoris Ikpọrọ afa, Chineke ya goes that man. Ndị enu ndị ana ya goes that man because o nwere oge o si eti na South Africa. A lot of his friends need very close to him, abandon him.
Otu accord.
Abandon him. Even a man who respect so high. I respect that guy so high from Cape Town. I don't want to mention his name. I respect him. At some point, when you know we are making go fit, join a while more autopilot, you know. But let's not talk about that one. But this guy, Vitalis Igu, that guy stand on Kolo. But I thank God today off going so, you know. So I thank you, Maz, for listening to him and for Nyanwa for steered or every day. I say working nebe okode. Today, you go wherefore the something, you know. Not only that, do you know that even Ogaiga UK court, all the way to Supreme Court, they condemn, say there's no court. China someone taps that there's no court going on in Kenya. It won't go France on our own radio that there's no court case going on. In Supreme Court in UK, do you know why UK government just decided to pause? They say that it's act of national security. You know, when they mention national security, you know what is meant. It mean what mean. And then they involve a suit in that case. Two former foreign secretary in UK and their PM then. In Kenya, our leaders' family keep on going and Madam Nenyanya. They come on air say that nothing is going on. You know, someone will say it. Say nothing is going on in Kenya. They use it for a program. All those with chakad million worms. Tell me, on this planet Earth, I come and a family a bully, our leader's family. Bully. See, they remain steadfast. I come and a woman able to Madame Nenyanya. Still, some of them, their past is still hurting them, but it's not for this program. Then, do you know that San Ezekome, because they respect San Ezekome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor? Do you may go now with San Ezekome? When only do ask us to pay him off. Aku San Ezekome $94,000 US. $94,000 US. The last money you complete here is from Italy, case we put here. And we said to Ezekome, if we say we are lying, now come and challenge. I told you receipt. My bank app will go to Texas. Is there? That's why Ezekome don't talk, you know. Onya put the money, Madam Nenyanya. Over $94,000 US. Can't Ezekome does. Only to pay him off. Now, the same woman that handle all those things, all those cases in UK, in Kenya, but in Nigeria, Kiton will see that now no sees the ego IPOB. Only ego IPOB embezzlement. People are evil. So, Mazi Kaibekwa again. Because as I know, the fact in South Africa, Tony is roomy, Kevin Napia Tony one bottle. Well. Tony one bottle can not wear. Because I'm not going to lead his charge. You men are South Africa. Now, Chibus they got to their blood. Then, now, Guinea me about Mazi Ikechukwu. Can you tell Biafrans? Our golden voice, the barrister Ikechukwu. Guinea me, keke pull lawyer out from Radio Biafra. Chukwu the former they are aware. Chukwu the former Gwalunu.
All right. Martin, thank you so much for that question. Yeah, as before I started coming online to make this open confession, I first released the voice note. So I've stated it very clear in that voice note, and I'm going to repeat it live so that people can hear it from me and be seeing my face talking it to be sure that it's me saying it. All right, Mazi Ikechukwu Onoha. You know, Ikechukwu Onoha is one of the the founders of Radio Biafra Motherland in South Africa. He's the one that personally sponsored the whole equipment. So now, Mazi Ikechukwu Onoha, when we bought an office through the help of Mazi Okechukwu Isu, which I've told people to silence that one, because at least I know ihe mmadụ major ebe o metere ekwuo ya nke wee eziokwu Okechukwu Isu tried in terms of equipping the office, though he was not accountable free like openly accountable, but based on the way he outsourced the money, he really did very well. All right, so now Mazi Ikechukwu Onoha was doing his good job all alone in his house without involving anyone. So when we got an office, we were deliberating to employ permanent sales girl, is somebody that can be going to the office and be receiving maybe a minimum wage. A minimum wage, you know, I always don't want to mention the amount, because if I mention the amount, people in different locations, because of exchange rate, we underrate or high estimate it. So I always use the word minimum wage. So we were agreeing to pay a lady minimum wage, and then the lady will be going there, and the person will be doing make sure that the offices are always open, our numbers are always on for her to answer, and obviously be sending the receipt book to all the units, and also sending the regalias to all the units, and then accounting to the welfare department, working in hand in hand with the welfare department. So we were campaigning for that. So now a suggestion came to say, let's bring in Mazi Ikechukwu Onoha, because it will be more affordable for us. Let's rather tell him to go to our office, stay in the office, and make a broadcast. After the broadcast, then you can go home. It's fine. So therefore, we'll give him half of the minimum wage. Half of the minimum wage. So we all agreed with this, and then we moved on. Then Ikechukwu Onoha started to go to the office to broadcast. And then the finance department, as we all agreed in the national, started to give him the minimum wage. So now we were happy, very, very happy. Nobody was complaining. It was moving on smoothly. We even forgot that such a thing is happening. So, but then the moment we needed to attack Madam Nneneanya, then we brought in Ikechukwu Onoha, because Ikechukwu Onoha was always in agreement with the structure as ordained by Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu. So Ikechukwu Onoha was always hosting Nneneanya. That was as I said, that was the only crime that Ikechukwu Onoha committed. Ikechukwu Onoha is not a talkative. Ikechukwu Onoha is not a tout. Ikechukwu is barrister Ikechukwu. Let me not be saying Ikechukwu Onoha, because sometimes when I'm saying Ikechukwu Onoha, it will look like one of these the people that doesn't have a job in South Africa. You know, in my high name in South Africa, a lot of people doesn't have a job. They don't have houses. They don't have anything. So let me be calling Ikechukwu Onoha with his profession, because he's practicing his profession. Barrister Ikechukwu Onoha. So by that time, he was still a student, mind you. Remember, he was still a student. So these things were all good, going very well. So the moment we needed to remove Madam Nneneanya, we see that Ikechukwu Onoha is always hosting Madam Nneneanya. So we need to find something against him. We need to now draw a map to say, how do we remove this guy? Every time I will call Ikechukwu, they will send me to call Ikechukwu for Ikechukwu to host us, so that Ikechukwu will refuse to host us. Then we want to use it against him. And Ikechukwu, knowing very well that if he hosts us, we are coming to speak against Madam Nne, we are coming to speak against to speak about the account. So Ikechukwu will say, what are the things we are going to talk about, so that he can make a flyer. Get the point, get the whole story. Ikechukwu will say, what are the things that you are going to discuss with me in Radio Biafra, so that I can make a flyer and post it. Then obviously we know that if we tell him what we are going to discuss on Radio Biafra, he won't approve it. So we will tell him, you don't have the right to question us, we the executive of South Africa, what we are going to talk about or what we are not going to talk about. It was funny, Maz. So obviously, Ikechukwu will say no. I'm not going to host you if I don't know what we are going to talk about. At least give me things. That is a normal procedure. You must tell me what we are going to talk about. So then we now report it to Ofoma to say, you see, now we are executive. We are executive, and Ikechukwu is telling us about our radio. In fact, we are the one paying him. We are paying him salary. He must not question us. Ofoma, obviously, because he's against Nenianya, he will clap for us and say, yeah, Ikechukwu must be removed. That is how we pushed for the removal of Ikechukwu, because he was hosting consistently Nenianya, and we needed to use the Radio Biafra through Motherland to castigate and tarnish the image of Nenianya and make sure that we remove her hand in South African accounts. Though we not partially, we have somehow achieved that goal. I can tell you that we achieved it by 80%. And not just that, after achieving it, we also destroyed the whole system. Normal monthly due, we were paying $200. So not $200, 200 rands. 200 rands. That 200 rands, up to date, now those so-called people, many of the executives just pays 50 rand, 50 rand, 50 rand. That is how they managed to destroy everything. So, I've left the group for over 2 years now. I'm no more the national PRO. I left myself. I resigned. I told them that they don't need a memo. I will move on by myself. Then I pulled out. So that is how we. So in summary, the main reason we tarnished the image of Ikechukwu and call him all sorts of names and tell the whole world that we are paying him. It was not a payment, Maz. I can tell you that nobody paid Ikechukwu because you can only call a minimum wage payment. So, but minimum wage divided by 2 for transport for a student as of that time. So you can see what it is. So there was never a time that Ikechukwu was wrong in anything. He was obeying the code of conduct, but we needed to remove him so that we can have access. And even when we removed him and added Mazi Sochima, we did the same thing. We almost did the same thing with Sochima, but Sochima was a kind of new, so nobody knew him too much. So there was no much of attack, and I think he received order not to host Madam Anya, and from there nobody talks about Sochima. It was only Ogechukwu Isu, the national coordinator, that was always on Sochima, trying to remove Sochima. They keep having problem up to today. Maz Ndewo.
Yeah. Ndewo, Maz, Ndewo. So, Maz, now, because there is one name you mentioned, is a member of DOS, head of media, Chukwudo Former. Then, is there any other DOS member that, in line with you guys to make sure that the participatory honor was
Mazi,
yeah.
Like you wouldn't expect them to just come out and tell you, do this.
Yeah.
I remember one day we were having a meeting with Chika Edoziem. I personally asked Chika Edoziem a question. I wouldn't be lying against him, so that when he listens to this, he will know that Mazi Nachi is saying the truth. I asked Chika Edoziem, Chika, tell me, Madam Neneaya always say that she's not accountable to you. Is that true? There were other different questions that were presented to him. He picked so much interest in this one. He said, let me answer this one hands on. Then he picked that question. He said to me, Nachi, the way you had it from her, that is how it is. Whatsoever you want to make out of that, do it. So, now, if somebody that is saying, you know what, I don't want to destroy this structure, he was going to tell me, Nachi, we are busy with that problem. We're having dialogue. I'm sitting within the NEA consistently so that we can be able to sort our differences, and then we will relate to you, all of you. So, for now, that is what he was supposed to tell me. But he just said, do whatever you wish to do. And that time, remind you, my saying, let me repeat it, my saying, so that anybody that is listening to me, we know that I'm saying the truth. I was calling all the coordinators, finance people, everyone in South Africa. There is no IPOB member in South Africa that will say that they haven't spoken to me. If you say that you haven't spoken to me, it means you are new somehow, or maybe I don't know. But many of IPOB members have spoken to me. So the idea was to tell me that what I used to say that time. Yes, I used to say in organization, the finance department must always account to the head of the department, to the head of the body. So now that Onyendu has been arrested, Madam Nene must account to Chika Edoziem, and it was a logical reasoning.
Yeah,
so I used that logic.
Maz, please, just a minute. We want to
Yes.
bring in the regional coordinator from America. He's here now. Let's bring him
Okay.
in. So he continue. No. Yeah. Mazi Chia, you're welcome to the program, Mazi Chia. No. We are not hearing you, Mazi. Mazi, okay. Continue, Mazi. Continue. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what I was saying is, it was a logical thing that a finance person in an organization must always account to the chairman at least. So we use that logic. I Nachi, use that logic on people, and I convinced a whole lot of, everyone, almost everyone in South Africa, except the people of Western Cape and obviously Pretoria by Mazi Vitalis. So, but I even went inside the unit of Mazi Vitalis to make sure I destroy his unit because he refused to abide by what I was telling him. So that is how deep we went. Logical. So we use that logical to say this must account for this person. But at the end of the day, what did we see? We made the account. And then now we send the money to Chika Edoziem and his co, whoever the money is going to, until we were able to raise another money. That one, they will account for it according to what they said, because that one is separate from the monthly dues. There's another extra money that I personally raised for them. It was a lot of money. So they are going to account for that when time comes. But that is only when Onyendu comes out. Before Onyendu expels them, they must bring the money before they go. So that is that is the logic we used. But Madam Nanyanya was not, she's not a coordinator. She's a finance. So she was never having meeting with us as coordinators and executives. You see, so she could not most time explain her own side of the story, and I think she would also get angry based on the things she sees around her. So we didn't have her background of the story. So, but now that we started to say, oh, these guys are not actually taking order from Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, Simon Ekpa is better than Chika Edoziem and the rest, and Chinasa Nworu. I can tell you that. The reason I say Simon Ekpa is better because Simon told people that he's not taking order from Onyendu G. Then you know that if you are going to deal with him, you are dealing with him as an individual. If you like his way of operandum, it's up to you. If you want to be brainwashed with his Biafra, they say Biafra government in exile, whatever they call it. Yeah, it will be up to you. Like, you know what you are doing. It's your line of decision. But if you feel like you say, no, I don't agree with that, let me hold on with this. Mazi Chika Edoziem and Chinasa Nworu, they completely destroyed that the whole thing. Then they brought sorry, I'm getting out of the line now. They brought in the slightly gullibly brought in an influence against Nene, and we dived into it. And up to today, I can tell you, the National Ogechukwu we always tell you, Nene is still allowed to come into the account and still be in charge of the account because she's still our finance head. Why does he say that? He can only say that because he knows very well that these guys has nothing against this woman. Because if they have something against this woman, they were supposed to have sent a memo and take her out as a finance head, but they haven't done that. And Ogechukwu kept saying she must come, but before she comes, she must agree to be before she takes out any money. Chika, China Sanworo or Chika Edoziem must be aware of it. So that is how that is where we stop for now. Mas, I would like you to pick up another question so that I don't get too much out of the line.
Okay, Ndewo. Before then, let's welcome the regional coordinator from America, Mazi Chizoku. Mazi, can you hear me? Please introduce yourself, Mazi. Mazi, no, we can't hear you. Yeah. So now, I think he's having problem with earphone. So, Mazi, there's one thing I want to ask you. You know, I told you in this program, you must be honest, right? You must be honest. Mazi, when you spoke to Mazi Takano, did he sound like a person who is trying to take over from his brother, who is trying to impose himself to this struggle? Please, because he said you have spoke with him. So I better want to listen to you because they have been saying this, you know. The counter sound, or is there any way he told you that he want to take over, he want to be in charge? Go on, Mazi.
Yeah, Mazi, before you talk about Takano, let's talk about Mazi Vitalis. Mazi Vitalis is one of the founders of Ipob South Africa. They were traveling about 60 kilometers to attend the unit meeting. Mazi Vitalis has been calm. He did not form a parallel government. In fact, it is since I came in among them, I told them, Mazi, we are not going to allow these people to continue with these things. We are going to proceed. We are going to restructure and advance. So before that's the reason I'm bringing Vitalis is because you must look at the person first who is next to you before you talk about someone that you don't even see. So Mazi Vitalis never formed a parallel government. Maybe to call himself a national whatever, make himself any position or something, and he has all that it takes: reputation, history, money, everything. He has everything that it takes to start another Ipob and give anybody any position anytime, but he has never done that up to today. So how can Takano now, who speaks with him, now try to impose himself as a whatever, or take in charge of the struggle? Anything that Takano is doing today is what I would have done if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was my biological brother. Because with them, as naturally as in the Igbo, in Aror, when you are working, when you have a shop, in a business, you bring your brother in, you train him, or normal thing. So anyway, to answer your question very straightforward, Takano never sounded like someone that wants to take over. He was just having a normal concern that now 1 year okay, like this guy, if I got that body 1 year okay, self, like he's calling him Onyendu. But if it was me, I would be calling him my brother. Anyway, he calls him Onyendu. That these people are not taking order from Onyendu. These people are not proceeding. There's expected proceeding that they are expected to do. As an organization, you just sit down. There is nothing moving. And when to be honest, Mazi, let me tell you something. When Mazi Kanu was saying that, I could think about here in South Africa, you know, like some of them are jobless people. So you can just sit down and see. Now South Africa, I know now. We've talked about approaching South African government and writing all kinds of letters to them for like a kind of area now, asylum seekers, for them to recognize that we are freedom fighters and all those things. It never happened. It's actually a zone called Johannesburg zone that does those things, and when they try to do it, we the national comes and then start claiming the glory. We will quickly run and announce to it that now we are on a mission of making South Africa to accept Biafra agitation so that they can be giving us asylum. But before you take that asylum, you must receive a letter from the national coordinator that guarantees you of that asylum. But I say, yeah, for before you quote such a thing,
Before you continue, please let's welcome our head of finance, Madam Nenianya. Madam Nenianya, you are welcome, madam. You are welcome. You are welcome. You know,
Lord, all right. Can I continue?
Yeah, continue. Yeah.
Okay, Lord, I think I will let me just finish this part. So now we will quickly run to people and announce to say very soon IPO South Africa will be recognized by South African government. So people are going to take to start receiving asylum and on and on and on and on. But up to today, the moment we say that the Johannesburg zone people will remove their effort and become quiet, but till today, because we said we did that thing, till today Johannesburg stopped pursuing it and nothing happened. It never changed, and up to today, South African government doesn't recognize us because that these people are just like they don't have sense. They don't have sense. But I was the youngest among them. I can tell you that I'm the youngest among all the executive. 36 years counting.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
my question is that is there any way Maz can sound like he want to take over from this?
That is, I've tell you that there is no way. From his starting point, he was just angered by the mode of operandum that these people are just sluggish in terms of operation. That things they're supposed to do, they are not doing it. Then and that is just what he was sounding. He was just so concerned. Then he has to move on and try to patch up and try to gather everything on all over him. That is how it was, and nothing more.
Okay, Maz. Okay, let's welcome national PRO from all the way from America, Maz Emeki Iwagu. Maz Emeki Iwagu, you are welcome, sir. You are welcome. You are welcome. Please introduce yourself, sir. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, my name is Mazi Emeke Iwagu. I live in Sugarland, Texas, and I've been privileged to serve IPOB as the national coordinator for a very long time. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome, Mazi. You're welcome. You're welcome, Mazi. You know. So, Mazi Nachi. So, you are telling Biafrans today, there's no way through all the conversation with you and Kanu Takano all sound like a way that you want to take over because this is what they are parading.
No, anybody telling you that Kanu Takano wants to take over is not reasoning properly. Kanu Takano was there when all those, like when the whole body of the so-called DOS member were all appointed. So now, but then when you sit down, like I place myself under the shoe of, like in the shoe of Kanu Takano. I mean, I sit down, I see the executive not doing anything, and you must get the job done, and this job must be done. And if we just relax, things are going to get out of hand. So Kanu Takano stepped in when he looked at all the DOS members not doing what they are supposed to do. That is when he stepped in. So ask yourself, where were the DOS when Kanu Takano traveled all the way from UK to Kenya to meet Professor Lumumba? Do you know who is Lumumba? Makoyewu Lumumba. So it's very simple. It's very, very simple that this guy, the sluggishness of the so-called members of DOS were disgusting him. The DOS are just busy with sanctioning and removing of this person and terminating image of one another and all those things. That is their job. Their job, okay, it's fine. Let me say they run, as Nnamdi Kanu stated clearly, because people always quote that Nnamdi Kanu from the court said that the DOS run the day-to-day affairs of IPOB. It's fine. They run day-to-day affairs of IPOB, but the real dialogue affair, the real thing that they're supposed to do, they were not doing it. So what they were doing was just to remove the this Mazi is removed and expelled, and this one is removed. That is their job, and we have seen that. Or if anybody knows what they have done, which we can place hand and say this is what they have done, please, I'm open to learn. I'm open to be corrected. So, but so far I haven't seen. And Mazi, because of their sluggishness, that is how Mazi Kanu Takanu stepped in. He was never in like to take charge. It was because they were busy negotiating and trying to remove Neneanya, trying to starve her of finances, trying to lock up all the corners. That is how Mazi Kanunta. Mazi, even if it is me, I will take over. I'm not saying that Kanunta Kanu is taking over. No, I'm saying that if there is sluggishness in actions, in mode of operandum, he did the right thing. He must step in and help wherever he can help. He is doing a good job. Let him continue, and God will bless him. He's going to bless him for doing that job. Let him continue whatever he's doing, whichever kind of court, international criminal court, whichever way he knows that he got an advice that is where he must go and sue anyone he wants to sue. He must move on. And what we Biafran owe him, whatever we are, whoever that is listening to me, we owe him to put our money, our monthly due to the rightful account approved by Onyendu, which is account that Nneneya is in charge. Any account that Nneneya is not in charge is a fraud. And Nneneya is not accountable to anyone. Nneneya is only accountable to Nnamdi Kanu. Nneneya is only accountable to Nnamdi Kanu. No one has the right to ask her for an audit. In fact, I even told my unit last weekend, I said to them, you know what, I'm even ready for Nneneya to eat my money because she's doing something. How much are we contributing? 200 rand. What is 200 rand? It's not even up to the money I buy petrol with. So you don't have right to back a na maka 200 rand. Let her eat it as long as there is job done. A job is done.
Okay. Before we continue, Mazi Chi, please, can you hear me? Mazi Chi.
Ndewa, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, please, please introduce yourself, please. Yeah, please introduce yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Ichiezoku, Eastern Regional Coordinator in the United States, and Mazi Izumizu, I greet you, and I greet every member of IPOB, and in extension, every member of Biafra, indigenous people of Biafra. I say good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are right now, listening to us and watching us. Mazen Nachi, okay?
Yes, sir.
I greet you. I greet you, Deo. Mazi Izumizu, should I go ahead or should I wait until you are done with?
Okay, I just want to say something, just a minute, then you can take over the microphone. So, Mazi, what you said that Onyendu said in court. What Onyendu said in court, say DOSC today and every activity of IPOB. Remember,
yes, day to day,
it's a structure. DOS is not any person's name. So he was trying to tell the court that this is where IPOB is structured. So that is all I want to put. I want to just clear there. Ndewo, Mazichi, please take over the microphone, sir.
Mazin Ndewo, I applaud your courage for coming out to speak. But Maz, it is a little bit too late. But at the end of the day, you still came out to do the needful. First of all, let me correct some certain things here. You know that Maz Kanunta does not act on his own. I hope you understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Maz Kanunta does not, in anything he does not act on his own. he gets instruction from Onyendu through the lawyers. So, and sometimes it takes time. It takes time to get all this instruction and back to him. And the reason why Mazi Kanonta started taking instruction and doing things, Chika Edoziem, because I will not call them DOS. DOS is our structure, and we still believe in DOS because it's our structure. We need to lay it down. But the problem still remains that Chika Edoziem, China Sanworu, Abanyim, all of them, that clique has refused to take instruction from our great leader. That was why, like you said, Mazi Kanonta jumped in and
Maz, I think your network. Mazi Che, can you hear me? Okay. Let's go to National PRO. Mazi Emeka Iwagu. Mazi, please take the microphone before he chases back.
Thank you, Mazi.
Yeah, ndewo Mazi.
Mazi Nachi.
Ndewo Mazi Iwagu.
Ndewo, my brother. Ndewo. I've been listening from the beginning. Your account of what is going on in South Africa or what has happened in South Africa. I remember Onyendu saying that it would not be possible for him to get Biafra and hand it over to Biafrans and let them do whatever they want to do with it.
Mazi Emeka Iwagu. Mazi Che, can you hear us? Mazi Che. Iche. Okay.
I think
Mazi, continue. Yeah.
Still having a problem with his suggestion. Okay. Onyendu say, I wish I can get the Biafra and hand it over to Biafrans. That our people are very, very difficult to work with. He said that in the meeting we had with him in Texas.
Mazi Che, can you hear us? Iche. Mazi?
yes, I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Mazi Emeka Iwagu, Iche,
Can you hear
continue.
me? I can hear you.
Yeah, Iwagu. Okay. Mazi Che, yeah.
Proceed.
Okay. Ndewo, one mmadụ. Like I was saying, because we need to tell ourselves the truth, the hard truth about this situation. It was because Chika Edoziem and his clique has refused to listen to Onyendu. That is what brought us to this situation I'm on here today. And let me ask you a question, Mazi. In IPOB, do we do anything like executives?
Anything like what?
Executives. Do we have executives?
Okay, that is for the nations.
Yes.
Yeah, in South Africa we have executives. Yes.
Well, I can authoritatively tell you that you guys are breaching IPOB law, because there's nothing like executives in IPOB. What you have in IPOB is an autonomous society. That is what you have in IPOB, and that is how our leader has set it up. It is because they have this executive. That's the reason why they were messing around and they could suppress a lot of people. And I see no reason why Nzurumike will be the one you people are answerable to. Because you guys are not supposed to be answerable to Nzurumike. The person that you guys are supposed to be answerable to is Terinemi, which is the African rep. Because they have succeeded in doing this evil that they've been plotting since. That was why so-called executive now sidelined. They now sidelined Terinemi, which was the person that you guys are supposed to if there's anything, Terinemi was the person that you guys were supposed to talk to. Then Terinemi carries whatever complaint you guys have to DOS. Or if Mazin Nandekanu was around, carries it to Mazin Nandekanu directly, and that will be solved. So, in saying what you guys, anything executives does not stand in IPOB. IPOB don't do executives, and I will use this opportunity to let other people that is saying executive meeting should now realize that they are one way or the other causing more problem than good. If in the way IPOB is structured is this: you have a unit coordinator, you have a state coordinator, and when you have any problem, you meet your state coordinator. Your state coordinator takes it to your regional coordinator. If that thing is more than the regional coordinator, it takes it to the continental rep or the overall coordinator in that houses. Then locally the person they take it to the normal level as opposed to guys. So in so doing, Madam Nenaya Anya, like now you realize that she is the one that is the head of our finance. This was the reason why we're having problems too. Because you have to stand your ground. If you go for draw, you stand your ground. In as much as anything. But what some of you guys did was to handing because others are doing go. Instead of asking questions, do you know that what you guys did? A lot of people died because of that, because of lack of structure. Structure wasn't being followed. Structure, I mean, was DOS following the right command, which I know I told them because they weren't following the right command. A lot of things happened. Now we're suffering because of that thing that happened. So, Mazi, I will want you to answer this question. Under normal circumstances, are you people supposed to talk to Uzurumike or talk to Terinemi? That's number one. Then we can now go back to that executives. Then before we now go to Madana Anya's own. So first of all, just answer the question of who to talk to initially.
Okay. According to what they say that Tony Zurumike is coordinators of coordinators. That is what they call him. Coordinators of all the coordinators. So now, all right. Tony Zurumike being the coordinators of coordinators, we were always talking to Obiuku, even till date, because though we started having, not we, because I'm not among.
Mazi, can I correct?
I was never.
Mazi, can I correct something there?
Yes. Correct.
No,
yes.
Mazi, let me correct something, please.
Okay,
Tony
proceed.
Zurumike is not coordinator of all coordinators. Mazi Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu has eliminated that particular
office.
title.
Office, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the person that was handling it before was
Iluanya.
Iruanya, yes. He was the one that was the coordinator of all coordinators. So these ones, they are giving themselves title. When Onyendu is not around, this can show you people the kind of people we are dealing with, the kind of wicked animals we are dealing with. I won't miss word because those guys are wicked. do you know the level of their wickedness? If they have succeeded in making sure that Madanaya is does not have fund for anything, do you know how well that thing would have affected Oyendu? They wanted, it's as if they were, I keep saying this, it's not as, it's as if they were bought over. They were bought over. If they were not bought over, I see no reason why Mazin Nandekano will give an instruction on what to do, and finances, where the finances will go to, and they do not obey that instruction. It's a simple thing. So go ahead and answer, and let us listen, please.
So we were here. We have a SADC Southern African side rep. His name is Obiuku. He's also part of DOS anyway. And then after Obiuku, according to the chain of command, is Ogechukwu is the national coordinator. It's Obiuku the regional coordinator, the Southern African region coordinator. And then we have Tarinami, who is the African coordinator. And then Tony Nzurumi came. That was the structure. So, but then through Obiuku, sorry, I don't know the problem that came up with Tarinami. I can't really mention the problem. He was now removed as a African rep by Chika Edoziem. A memo was released. So once the memo was released, that office was vacant. So we started communicating. Okay, then the reason Obiuku, we had a Ogechukwu is not we. Ogechukwu is the national coordinator, had a problem and still having a problem with Obiuku. So now he was now communicating straight to Tony Nzurumi. That is how the chain was broken. But then when we had the last meeting with Chika Edoziem trying to reconcile between Obiuku and the Ogechukwu issue, they just told him to say, we are not going to communicate direct to you again because he's breaking the chain of command. Then now they will just send the message to Obiuku. Obiuku will just forward it straight to Ogechukwu issue. And when Ogechukwu issue reports it, we just say this is coming from Obiuku. So that is, it was not it was no longer in receiving order. It was criticized, and I cannot for sure say that Tony Nzurumi came over all the time calls us. Yes, we do have meetings with him, but in that meeting he will put in Obiuku there. But you will see that this is a meeting between us, Tony Nzurumi, and sometimes China Sanwo, sometimes Chika Edoziem and China Sanwo. But we were consistently having meeting with Tony Nzurumi. But the main reason was that, I think the main reason is that they claimed to have removed Tarinami. So that is why we kept on communicating direct to Tony Nzurumi. There we.
Okay, Ndewo. The reason why they removed Tarinemi was because Tarinemi wasn't buying into their shenanigans and wasn't buying into this mess, this crap that they were doing in the first place. That was the reason why because when you start asking questions, then you have a problem. Then they will look for a way to remove you. That is their modus operandi. But as it is, I know I said something about Canon Takano. So I would like you to let us know if you know that any message that is coming or anything that Mazin Nandekano is doing and that is coming directly, because he will have to relate to Onyendu. I hope you understand that is what is going on, right?
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. Since you understand that one, okay, that's another and the message is come through our lawyer. And the same lawyer, Chika Edoziem and the rest of them don't want to believe in or listening to what they were saying or listening to whatever instruction that comes from Onyendu. I can comfortably tell you, within me, I did my homework, and I went immediately. I knew that these guys were up to no good. I told them my mind, and I told them they are up to no good, and that was the last time I spoke to them. I believe for now I don't have any other question. Mazi, Mecca, you can go ahead. The executive one has been answered because there is nothing like
Yeah,
executive in
Mazi,
IPOB.
please,
What we
can I,
have is chain of
can you,
command, and that chain of command is not.
Mazi, can you,
Yeah, go ahead. Go
let
ahead.
me
Go
come
ahead.
into that story of executive. How we formed executive is
Okay.
executive starts from, there is unit executive, there is okay, the provincials, that's why we try to dismantle it, but there is also some provincial executive that claim to be executive, and then there is national executive. All right, these executive are just a combination of different offices, like the people, the welfare are the people in charge of the welfare, like when we have a protest, people that brand the cloth and all those things. And then we have finance department, obviously the account department, and which form the part of the executive. And then we have provincial coordinators. But though you are right if you say that these people might not be doing the job, because we are all just in a forum. But I can assure you that there are people, one or two, not a lot, one or two of those provincials who does the job. Like if you go to Western Cape, that man, Mr. Innocent, his name is Mr. Innocent Alia. He's very very good according to his people. I have seen him, I think, twice or so. According to his people, he's very very good. Like they love him and he's doing the job. So those are the people that form the executive. The only disadvantage of that executive is that now we now form a cabal to instigate things on people. You see, when people start to respect us, we now instigate things, because now we have coordinators forum, and we the executive are what do you call, admin in those coordinators forum. So they are always waiting to hear from us, and what we say, we approach things in different ways. So that cabal formation is the main negative effect of this so-called executive. But I can assure you that in Manandi Igbo, we like positions, and we like recognition. If you argue to say we should dissolve the executive,
No, no, my brother, I disagree. Not everybody.
okay, yeah, but like here in South Africa,
Yeah, not everybody.
even in Johannesburg, the people, when I talk about Johannesburg, I respect them a lot, because those are the people that started the IPOB South Africa. That is where it started. So those people, they also have their own Johannesburg executive, and they are very strong in what they are talking about. So if you just say let's have coordinators, unit coordinators, zonal coordinators, and national coordinator, I don't think it is going to sit well with a lot of people. So because just that coming together and talking and negotiating things is also some of the vibes that keeps us going, you know. Yeah, that is just about the executive. But I believe that if Onyendu comes out, he's going to address that issue properly and place everyone in order.
Okay, and they were my brother. You see, the one of the problems I have with this executive is or executives is this. In the US here, we had a similar problem when um Olive Obi and Ejesi and the rest of them, Madan Oyibo and some of them formed a cabal and started causing problem. You know, these are part of the things we are talking about, because once you form an executive, there is every tendency of people causing or forming their own cabal, trying to make things out of what trying to do things out of the ordinary, or out of the code of conduct that we have, and that is what has brought this problem, because now people are now becoming afraid of that executive, because how we do our own meeting and how our meeting is supposed to be done. Every unit, if you have or if an instruction comes in, this is what we're going to do. The next thing we do is to call a general meeting. You don't keep it to yourself. Some coordinators do keep it to themselves and start trying to, manipulate things. What you do is call everybody. This is what we say we should, the instruction that has been given. How are we going to approach this? This is the instruction. The instruction remains the instruction. The something that has to do with something like we have to contribute money to get something done. Then we now decide on how that thing is going to be done. But if it's not something that has to do with money, that is a straightforward instruction. That instruction will be carried out the way it's supposed to be carried out. That's why we don't need any executives. Once you bring down the instruction, we do the instruction the way we do it. We call everybody, we call meeting, because when you open a book, there is nobody that is bigger than anybody in this struggle. The only thing is that we are occupying any position that we can just we are all of us or the indispensable at this organization, apart from Onyendu. Because Onyendu we see every other person in this organization is indispensable at any particular given time. What I know now. So this executive issue, I know that Onyendu will frown at it when he comes back, and they should try as much as possible to start doing something about it. Now South Africa, or when doesn't happen this year, they should stop it, because this is part of the things that cause line problem. This is part of the things that cause line problem. So when if there's an instruction, they just pass it down and everybody handles it. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. Mazemeka, I give to
Okay,
you.
okay. Please, before Emeka, please let me just say something a minute. First of all, this is a message from IPOB finance head HOF. He said about Obiuku. He said Obiuku is not higher than Terminele. Maz Terminele is African rep for the whole of Africa. While Obiuku is meant for SADC, and both are member of DOS. That means their position is far higher than SADC.
Exactly.
Those people play evil game everywhere. Okay, yeah, the
Exactly.
memo I just put up was on 7th of August 2023. This is another insubordination from Chika Edoziem. The memo is sent to South Africa for changing the account. You can see this is the memo and his signature is here. This is another insubordination from Chika Edoziem on 7th of August 2023. This man disobeyed Onyendu Mazina Nkano. Let's stop here. Maazị Emeka, please take the microphone.
Thank you, my brother. Ichie, ịgwago ha ka ọ dị. What he presented to us as the executive in South Africa. That's what Onyendu calls the cabal. And he condemned it all through the period he has addressed us. He has always condemned cabal anywhere, even in the United States. At the time, he split the United States in 4 places and then appointed them 4 regional, in what I would call semi-autonomous, 4 regional semi-autonomous coordinators. And that was exactly where he left it. I know some other changes could have followed before his kidnapping. I don't think the people in South Africa did not understand that Tarinemi was the continental rep We had it here in USA. Mazio Bido was continental rep here before the change was made. And Tarinemi had that position. And South Africa was not excluded. So I don't see any confusion that will arise from his appointment. Before him, this other guy, I was following him, was the African rep. What's his name?
Tarinemi.
No, not Tarinemi. Before him.
Obiuku.
No.
African rep is Tarinemi.
Yeah. No, before Tarinemi.
Oh, before Tarinemi.
The guy from Anioma, I think Anioma.
Okay. Are you talking about George Onyibe?
Yeah.
George
George.
Yeah.
George Onyibe was the African rep. So it is not anything new or anything strange. And as I speak, I think and hope that that position still rightly belong to him. What Chika Edoziem and his group, I keep saying that what they succeeded in doing from 2021, when Onyendu was kidnapped, was to attack IPOB finance wherever it existed. They attacked it in the United States, attacked it in Europe, attacked it in Africa, everywhere. And to me, that's the only accomplishment. The only thing, when the issue of Chika Edoziem, China Samoru, and the rest of them come to my mind, if Chika Edoziem has handled things the way a leader should, and that was addressing Biafrans, looking at them and telling them that they are going to investigate or study what happened to Onyendu and will report back to them. That's the only statement he would have given to Biafrans. And then go into consultations with various people, such as the regional coordinators we have here and them other coordinators we have in Europe. And then from there, start managing the way to handle IPOB until Onyendu comes out. I always cite the last deputy we had. When Onyendu was arrested the first time, whenever, because of that, I used to listen to him. Whenever he goes to the radio, he would tell Biafrans, I am addressing you in my capacity as deputy for Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu. He will always tell Biafrans, I'm deputizing for our leader. From A to Z. All the time he talked to Biafrans, that was the main line that I enjoy very well. So I'm sure Kanunta noticed that. And for anybody coming around saying that Kanunta wants to take over from his brother, I say, wait a minute. Uchemefo did not do it. And this time is worse than that period. So, Chika Edoziem and his group, whatever they wanted to accomplish, I did not understand it. And when I started perceiving some of the things they did or continue to do, and listening to, oh, come on now. Or continue to listen to Chinasamuru. It leads me to digest further what Onindu said. That the way our people think of Biafra, if it were possible that way, I wish that I get Biafra and hand it over to them and go somewhere and rest. Having said that, the case of South Africa is not a complex one. It's manageable. But I don't think that it is too difficult for them to correct. The mistake they made, they can correct it, they can manage it. Especially with the characters like Iken Guruago out of the way. If you guys have accepted that it's out of the way, you get him out of the way. South Africa can correct whatever mistakes they made in the past. The only virus I see who is still in South Africa is that animal. Out of that, South Africa can handle their issues and get ready for the return of Onyendu. However, when Onyendu comes out, what my gut feeling is telling me is it may not be business as usual. A whole lot of things have changed and continue to change. We do not know the direction things gonna head to. But my appeal to our comrades in South Africa is this. If you guys can take it easy on yourselves and make the load lighter for Onyendu when he comes out, because he's not going to come out to delve into your case and start looking at who is right and who is wrong. Just the way I perceive, he's going to handle the issue of Chika, Edoziem, and his group. Because he has a lot of things to do. We are not doing exactly what he expects us to do. Some people digressed and deviated, and some are still there, holding on, waiting for him to come out. But I will tell you, this may not be the time anybody wish to be in the shoes of Onyendu. He has led a lot of sacrifice. He has done a whole lot of things. And we should be grateful that Onyendu did the sacrifice we see him do day in, day out. We may not know how difficult it is, and we may not know what lies ahead, because when he comes out, the job begins. He made a statement. He said, either the Biafra flag is hoisted up or I am lowered 6 feet. And he said, one of these two things, one of them must happen. Is that a good statement? That's a scary statement. And we are approaching that line of thought. He said, two things must happen, which is either the flag goes up or I go down. And I don't think any one of us would like to see him go down. Now, by that statement, we are looking at the movement or the action of the adversaries. One thing I will tell you is this: we are privileged that we have somebody who did not compromise, who did not sell us out, remain steadfast in his statement, continue saying the same thing to this point. And we see him every day. That his consistency never failed. The way I look at it is that on that table where our fate is being decided, Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu sits on that table. In whatever capacity, it doesn't matter to me. But he sits on that table, uncompromised. Because if he wasn't sitting there, maybe most of us would have been in the menu. He sits on the table. And that's the more reason why we're not in the menu today. This is our long weekend. And on Friday, I was talking with two of my brothers. And they were telling me that things are changing every day in Biafra land. He told me, my brother told me that he went to my mother's place to visit them, that most of the people in that place have vacated their homes. Most of the people in that village vacated, ran away. You just see empty homes, and most of the houses were burned down. We remember that Onyendu used to tell us this: if you do not fight, you may end up going back to your village to find out that your village is gone. The headers have taken over your village. This is the way it is right now in most areas in Biafra land. And Onyendu is about to come out. What do we think he's coming to do? Run around the street or go from place to place, settling disputes? No. The struggle is getting stiffer and stronger. It's no longer, I am this, I am here, I'm this, I'm this. No. We're going to see more difficult days ahead of us. Just him coming out. We don't know what it's going to be, but I feel it every day. When he comes out, it's going to be more difficult. How many of our people will understand this? So, I think those of you in South Africa, I've been privileged to have some programs with Ikechukwu. And I'll tell you, I'm glad to have known somebody like him. He's level-headed and I hope when Oyendo comes back, he will return and things might get better. So, Mazi, Yenga Jisinike. And whatever is the problem in South Africa, you guys can take care of it. You guys can take care of it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. The national PRO, Mazemeki Wagu, ndewo sir. But you use the word dispute. I don't think there's the dispute in South Africa. It's insubordination against our leader Mazin Nandekano. I think dispute is when two people are having a kind of problem, but they are still they are still respecting the whatever the rules and everything. But this case in South Africa, they disobeyed our leader Mazin Nandekano instruction. You can see the memo I bring out in 2023. How Chika issue a memo to them, no, not to pay money to the Madam Nenia account. The account Madam Nenia will supersede. This is another insubordination. It's not a dispute. You know, it's not a dispute. To the way I see it, and again, Biafrans, those that have questions, you can come up and ask your questions, and because of we have principal officers, high principal officers here, because no too much space, you can come up and ask your questions, or you can just write it. Then we have one question for you, Maazi Nachi, from Maazi Christ. Maazi Christ said, he said, Nachi, can you clarify the circumstances lead to your removal from IPOB South Africa? Two, were there a specific action or statement you made that contributed to your removal from the IPOB South Africa? So
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. The thing is, my removal started from when I ventured into a dispute that occurred between the so-called national executive and a unit or a zone. You can call it a zone. A zone was having the money of a zone was having IPOB money with them, and they refused to deposit it into the account that we, as a national executive, as of that time, had presented, and we requested that they must deposit the money into that account. But that zone refused to deposit that money. So the national executive, through Ogechukwu Isu, who is the national coordinator, wanted to sue those people to court. He wanted to take them to court. So I personally rejected that idea. I said to him, no, we're not going to do that. Rather, give me time to have a dialogue with these people and hear them out. And then after hearing them out, I will see if I cannot resolve it and collect the money from them. So they permitted me to do that, and I did. And after so many calls and so many conversations and so many meetings with this zone I had with them, and so many promises I gave them, I promised them to hear them out and resolve some of their questions and attend to some of their concern. So they managed to deposit the money, and it was a lot of money because they have held this money for more than 8 months to, I don't know, I forgot the accurate month, but it was a lot of money anyway. So they managed to deposit the money into the account that Nene is not even in charge of. So it was through my effort. So those promises that I made them, now I returned back to the executive to now ask them, okay, now I've promised these people 1, 2, 3. It was not a serious promise. It was just about a hearing, just to have a meeting with them and hear them out that we imposed a provincial coordinator on them, and that coordinator is not doing them very well. So we should attend to it. And unfortunately, that provincial coordinator was part of our gang, our what do you call cabal. So we could not remove that provincial coordinator because he's part of our cabal, and he was doing very well as the cabal, as we have formed the cabal. So, but I had already promised them that we were going to see and hear them out. So they refused to hear them out till today. So now I started to fight them in the executive to say, you can't make me to go and promise people, and now I failed them. So that was number one. Then number two was when the SADC rep went to I think is a prison, to correctional service area, their yard, their environment, and they were the entire unit where the SADC rep Obiuku, a regional rep, is fellowshipping. When they all as a unit went together to that place to offer a community service, they were cutting the grass and doing all kinds of handiworks. So after that activity, they posted a picture on SADC forum, and I picked up that picture and I shared it in coordinators forum, saying, I think I shared it in general forum, and I said in that picture, I said, this is what all the executive members should emulate and be doing. Every executive member should have a unit and be fully active in their unit. So the moment I posted that, it was a disaster, because many of those so-called executives don't have units, and they don't know how stressful it is to build a unit. I can tell you, I started like as a unit coordinator before any other position, any other appointment. So I know how I struggled. So because they don't have units, especially the national coordinator, he was so angered about it. He was so provoked. And then he came to executive and started to question me, what do you mean, Maazaganachi? If you wanted to talk to the executive, why didn't you just come straight to the executive and talk to them? Why are you dividing the executive? You are now being a voice. You are now being a tool used against the executive. So with that deliberation, many of the executive members added their view in support of what the national coordinator said. So before you know it, somebody said, let's remove him, let's write a memo and remove him. Then I mentioned and said to them, if 4 people can say, we are 18 in that executive, I said to them, if 4 people can say Maazaga Nachi step down, I will leave the forum without writing a memo. And at that process, 4 people said it, and I left. That was the end of my service with them. There
Okay,
were.
Mazi, thank you so much. Now, Mazi, I have a memo before us now. Before I ask
Okay.
you this question, do you know how much in that welfare account that is open, and superseded by Chika Edoziem? Do you know how much in that account?
I cannot specifically say how much, but I know that it is good money.
Okay. Now, okay,
Like
now,
it's a
okay,
good
now,
money. I
in
cannot
this memo,
specify.
there is 2 things that concerns me, or that I want to ask you about. One,
Okay.
because this is the expenses from that welfare account that they give to Uganda. That's the money they spend from the account. Now, they said DOX 300,000 pounds was given to DOS. Now, another one is Mazin Nandekan project for 47,200 pounds. Then the third one you just mentioned about the asylum something was 10,000 rounds. Can you tell us this DOS 300,000 rounds for what for?
Maze, let me start with that one of 44,000. Of is you say 44, Abi?
47,200 rounds for Mazin and Kan projects.
Yes.
What for?
That 47,000 Mazin Nandekanu project. I got Nachi. Unless I'm mistaken. I made a call. Somebody put 20,000 out of that 47,000. Okay, sorry, let me not lie. 19,000 rands out of that 47 with my phone call. Another comrade put 5,000, so making it 24,000 before other people started contributing. I don't know where the rest. That is the money that I'm talking about. That Oforma, Gongom, not another person. I try to make more for many people. Oforma no way. Oforma himself. I was in a call with Oforma and with my provincial coordinator and myself. I had 3 of us. Then I added the main guy gave with Diego. There were 2 people I added. So we were completely 5 in that call with Ofoma. I asked Ofoma, Kedi, what will happen? Are we going to issue receipt? Or saying that this is a surprise for Nande Kano, that here need total of us, no, total of $240 US, 240,000 US dollars. That all the countries and continents are doing that. So now they are expecting something from South Africa. I said, okay, it's fine. Let me call 1 or 2. So I made a call. I got 2 people. One person paid 19,000. This is 1,000 US dollars. Probably our comrades in America might see 1,000 US dollars as little, but here in Africa, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for somebody to give you 1,000 US dollars. So that comrade promised instantly 1,000 US dollars. And another one promised $5,000. Oh, sorry, 5,000 rands, not dollars, which is around about $300. So that is how I personally managed to raise almost half of that money that you just mentioned. And then that one of 300,000 rands, it's obvious.
This thing will, the expenses as named from the welfare account. From that money,
there is nothing like
no. So this is what they listed, and take all the money out. Mazna kind of project. Can't tell Mazna kind of project. We don't know. No.
He said Mazinachi said that no surprise for Mazina. This is what we're talking about. Which surprise? Mazina Kano prison kind of surprise. These are the things we are talking about. These guys are criminals. They have stolen from IPOB and they will account when the time is right. Go ahead, Maz.
Yeah.
So, Maz, that is the gullible. I was asking one of the guy that is supporting them right here in my unit. I said to him, since we were telling Madam Nene to account for us, this your account, are they accounting for you? He said yes. He started showing me this thing you're reading. I said to him, so this thing you are reading now, that 300,000 was sent to what do you call it? China Sanworu, China Chika, Edoziem. Is that the account? Did you ask them what they use that money to do? But they are parading that they are accounting for us. They are accounting for us. So this 300,000, I think that is the first time money was wired straight to Chika Edoziem from that account. And then that 47,000, the person that was in charge is what do you call? Is a former. It's a former that was fully in charge of that 47,000, which I believe he collected other money from other countries because that's what he stated from him. Then the asylum, up till today, nobody. If you go to seek asylum, they will arrest you there. If you go there, you must go. Whenever a person is seeking asylum, he seeks asylum on his own. He must make up his own story, not to say I'm an IPOB member. So that is another. There's this lawyer that Ogechukwu Isu is using. I wouldn't want to lie against Ogechukwu Isu in terms of saying that he must have used the money. I was not there. But there's this particular lawyer, he's a hungry lawyer. He once assisted me and I paid him a huge amount of money that I wasn't supposed to even pay. So that lawyer, I think he's the one that money was given to, probably. They might claim that because I can boldly say I've never spent IPOB money since I joined IPOB, not a cent. So I don't know about where that money arrived to. Though I can't say that we in executive, we've never shared money to say, okay, this one is taking this amount, this one is taking this amount. No. So Ogechukwu Isu is a reckless person that uses money. He's not good he's not organized. He's reckless in terms of how to, in terms of, he mismanages funds. So that money went straight to that lawyer. The lawyer is a Zimbabwean. I know him in person, Dr. Sibanda. We call him Dr. Sibanda. So that money went to him straight, and then nothing was done up to today. We don't get any asylum, and we told people, we announced that people can now get asylum through IPOB. So that is how the money disappeared, and nobody talks about it.
Okay,
They will.
Mazi. Yeah, one more before Mazi Chief. You have something, any question to ask? Mazi, when Tamin Nere was announced on Radio Biafra, where they announced the nonsense they announced there, it was Tony Ezurumike and Ogechukwu Isu, they were there when they were on air. Ogechukwu Isu was on air with Tony Ezurumike, and Tamin Nere name was announced. Maz, what happened? How did this happen in South Africa? What happened? What happened?
All right. Maze, just to, I think this your question, I'm going to go around it. I may not answer it straight. I thank God. I'm happy that Madam Maya is here listening to me. Let me just make something very clear. Ogechukwu Isu was the one that fought, also contributed in the removal of the previous national coordinator, Maze Isaac. So when Maze Isaac was removed, then Maze Ogechukwu Isu stepped in. At the first meeting we have with Madam Maya, it didn't sit well with Ogechukwu Isu. So from that time, Ogechukwu Isu had a problem, serious anger, hatred on Madam Maya. So now when Ogechukwu Isu now moved on to become close to Tony Nzurumike, then they had common enemy. Because as I heard, there's an issue of misuse of our office in Germany by Tony Nzurumike, and which Madam Maya corrected him, but he took offense out of it. I don't want in IPOB I stopped to go into details of people's life or castigating them in detail. I could have done that now, but I'm trying to recover so that I don't get into people's private. So, but there was misuse of our office in Germany, so which Madam Maya corrected Tony Nzurumike, and then Tony Nzurumike picked an offense. So when he picked an offense, he now tries so hard to fight Madam Maya. So now he took that anger and met another angered man in South Africa, and this anger collided together, and they fought so hard to destroy Madam Maya. So that is how they managed to. So Tarinemi was always an obstacle. Tarinemi and Ikechukwu Onoha was always an obstacle. Obiukwu is a person that is very soft. He's just a person that is very soft. You can easily, he doesn't know how to make a stand, a bold stand, and speak loud. That is just Obiukwu. Obiukwu is our regional rep. So the people that makes bold stands, like Ikechukwu Onoha and Tarinemi. So now they were opposing Ogechukwu Isu and Tony Nzurumike. So when Tarinemi and Ikechukwu Onoha were removed, it was a victory because the obstacles have been out of the way. So it was obviously a victory for us all in South Africa, and we moved on so fast to sideline Tarinemi because he was always an obstacle, obviously, to us. Ndewo.
Okay. Ndewo Mazi. Mazi Chi onwe question inwe Mazi.
No, for now, no.
Okay. Mazi Emeka, onwe question inwe.
Not really. But what I think in South Africa is that they do not have any serious problem. You see these people coming in and throwing in the monkey wrench between them. If they come back to their mind and realize that their leader in South Africa continues to be Tarinemi and not one of these guys who have no appointment to direct them or correct them or show them the way. Like I said, Chika Edoziem, his target after Onyendu was kidnapped was to collect as much as finance as possible. And to me, that's the only accomplishment he has made since after the kidnap of Onyendu. If he has any other thing to show, I don't know.
I'm also asking. Let them show me.
If he has any other thing to show, I don't know. Chika Edoziem successfully confused a whole lot of people. Some who even decided to stay on their own and contributing money and doing whatever they want to do with it. To Chika Edoziem, either you give him the money or you just don't let it go to Nnamdi Kanu. Do whatever you want to do with it or give it to me. That's what I think he did. But with this case in Kenya manifesting now, and everybody, every right-thinking person who sees it and does not comment or make any statement about it, let it remain with him. But that shows that people were doing something. And for that case to proceed and come to conclusion, people were taking care of it. And money was paid because the lawyers will be paid. And it was taking place. So, Maazị Nnachi, if you talk to those guys in South Africa and then let them follow the case in Abuja the way it's going, even though Nigeria is not an animal they can rely upon. Nigeria is a runaway train. You can never tell where Nigeria is going. All we know is that on 18th, we listen to the Onyendu will be in court, and we see where it goes from there. But things are moving in the right direction. And anybody who says, I'm sitting out, I'm waiting for Onyendu to come out, Onyendu come out and you do what? The only thing is, our fatherland is in trouble. A whole lot of things are disappearing. A whole lot of people are dying. The death toll continues to mount. This is a struggle. People are dying. And officially, the only tool we have, the only equipment we have for this struggle is finance. And that was exactly where Chika Edoziem went, to disrupt this struggle. Because he says, if Onyendu is out of the way, now this is the way to be in charge. Whatever he did or whatever he wanted to do, with the absence of Onyendu, that remains with him. Maybe one day he'll confess it. But his target was the finance, which was the only weapon we had. But thank God, there were people who remained steadfast from 2021 till today and continue to contribute towards that goal. But what I'm going to say on this is that as we proceed, more demand is going to come. And when the demand comes, some people who have the money contribute the money. Some people who have one thing or the other will contribute. And some people will throw their life in the process. And I will tell you, I'm privileged to be alive when the first Biafra war was fought, even though I was a child. I saw my father as a soldier in and out of that war. So many people died. So many people, my childhood friends, most of them died of kwashiorkor. I still know so many people who died in that war. And we are seeing this. Some people don't even know this history of Biafra war. Some people have no idea what war looks like. But it has started. We see the video of people being killed in different places, different areas of Biafra land, because it has not happened to me. We thought it is not true. My brother, I'll tell you, it is true. It happened, it is happening, and more will happen. So whatever, we are privileged to be where we are. Whatever we can contribute, whichever way we can assist in making it easier for our leader. I say it again, whatever we can do to make it manageable, make it easier for our leader to go home and have a rest. He's coming out. He's not coming back to sit on the fence. He's coming back to continue with the struggle. And he needs everybody. He needs everybody. Having said that, continue with what you're doing. I've listened to some of the voice tapes you made. And what I'll tell you is congratulations. But at least you have a thinking mind. You had it, you read it, and you believe that I was wrong. And you made a U-turn and come back and say, all along they were lying to me. Now I'm going to correct it. So I tell you, congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Mazen Nachi, one more message, question, and one message from me, one question from me, then we can call it a day. So this message is from Mazi Christ. He said, what message would you like to convey to those who may have supported you during your time with IPOB South Africa?
Okay, can I take it one?
Okay.
Yeah, Mazi, thank you so much. What message would you like to convey? Yenga Wahabo is, yes, I had convinced you to give money to Chika Edoziem as a chairman or the head of organization. That when I used to convince them to say in every organization the finance secretary must always account to the chairman of that organization. That was my argument. So, but what I can say is, Bikono, try to ask a question to all IPOB, whatever you are. Try to ask your question. Try to ask a question. Why is it that all the lawyers that Nnamdi Kanu has been choosing, removing and replacing, why are the Chika Edoziem cliques always against them? That is number one. Number two, what are they doing? What have they achieved? The only thing that I see that they have achieved is fighting, blackmailing, removing somebody, expelling somebody, and writing a memo. That is what they have achieved. But for the struggle, what exactly have they achieved? Absolutely nothing. So now what I'm saying is, here is a group of people, Nanya being part of the DOS, doing her job with finances, taking orders from Nnamdi Kanu, and then somebody jumps in to assist when your leaders failed, when the so-called Chika Edoziem, the one they refer as DOS, which they are not DOS, when they fail to do their job, somebody stepped in. That same person, they call him sibling of iniquity, whatever they call them. Somebody, whoever the person is, I don't care, but somebody came in and started doing the job and got us a victory. As I said, I've been aware of this thing for over 2 years, that Kanunta is in charge of those court cases. But my strong head refused me to follow and agree until this result came. So Now, this result should serve as an evidence that somebody is doing something somehow. Ask yourself, Biafrans, the people you are following, what can they show you as something they are doing? Underground, they are doing underground work. But at least I run underground for over 4 years now. Go to come to roofing level. Because I've waited for Kanunta for over 2 years before I started saying this. I didn't just come up and started to say this. I waited for 2 years. I heard about it 2 years ago. Before now, the result came out, and I'm boldly beating my chest to tell you that this is the right road. Because ask yourself, ask your person you are following, what have you achieved for Biafra? Oh, here can go people. Second question, Mazi.
Okay, so Mazi, the Mazi Emekiwa will mention about Chibuzie Guatu. You know, for me, I don't want to talk about Chibuzie Guatu because he's out of the family, but he's still enemy. But we still have enemy within. So the enemy within is what we are facing, not enemy external. No, but let me ask you this question, Mazi. How how do you guys see Chibuzie Guatu activities? Do you guys at any time take it to Chika Paul Edoziem or Toles Wimike? What did they say about his activities?
Mazi, I don't, when we talk about this guy, Chibuzie Guatu, personally, the kweli igwe na-elu ụwa, the kwaja ala Igbo, anwụọ m iyi n'isi m from day one, since I was among those cabals. I have never seen Chibuzie Guatu nke a na-akpọ Ikenga Uruagụ, nke kpọrọ onwe Ikenga Uruagụ. I haven't seen him as a freedom fighter or an IPOB member. Personally, I had always seen him as a, what do you call, as a presenter, as a content creator. Yes, content creator. If you even check his background when he comes to broadcast, he doesn't wear this thing I'm wearing. Okay, now after that I'm wearing the logo, you will see that I'm serious in the. It's there. I have the flag. Yeah. I have everything. Imagine that I'm serious in what I'm talking about. But check all his broadcasts. You wouldn't see anything Biafra there. He just wears a red cap, a red beret, and that's it. Then he starts to talk. So the whole thing was just that Okechukwu Isu in person, the national coordinator, needed someone in the media who can back him up. Media now, the Yoruba media, they are the one that propagated a lot of things. Once you have the media, I mean you have a lot of things. So Okechukwu Isu needed someone from the media who can help him to propagate the whole story. That is where he now went for Ikenga Uruagụ, Chibuzie Guatu. Chibuzie Guatu, even to all the executive, I can tell you, he is nowhere to be found. We don't talk with him. We don't consult him for anything. He is nowhere to be found. Then the only advantage he has is that he is from Johannesburg. When we talk about Johannesburg, we talk about the mother of the beginning of where IPB started in South Africa. And Okechukwu Isu, our national coordinator, is also from that Johannesburg. So when they needed a zonal coordinator of that Johannesburg, Okechukwu Isu went and picked him up single-handedly. But we could not argue it because we are not there in that area. We are all far from that area. It's not our province. We have about 9 provinces in South Africa. I mean, one of the provinces. So I could not from a province called Mpumalanga go to a province called Gauteng to tell them who to choose. So we left it for Okechukwu Isu. After all, he's from that side. So, but he chose that guy for publicity's sake, to help him to propagate his agendas against Neniaya. That is how it works. Then he also now called me for this interview. He just called me to say, as the national PRO, I would like to host you to explain this, your voice note, that you made up about this thing. That is how I got to his broadcast.
Yeah. Mas then my question, ask him on any time Olu take his action, his activities to these people, to Chika Paul Edoziem, that this guy activities is not so it's not okay. You know, on any time.
No, anytime I feel that his activities are wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
we have never perceived his activities to be wrong.
okay.
Talk more of reporting him.
Okay.
Because he was doing the bidding of the DOS. Yeah, of course. So, Mazi, like I said initially, I really appreciate you coming out to talk to our people regarding what has been going on, how you misled some of our people, and you know, in life, it's always good to be truthful. As in his open water, you know, and the only eziokwu, or what if or what if any me only eziokwu, because you could talk come back. That eziokwu still remains eziokwu, and that thing he has been telling you since 100 years ago. Maybe probably might forget one or two things, but when he starts saying it, he will remember and put everything together and say this is the way it is. So we have known Chika Edoziem as a very corrupt human being, and China Saworu the corrupt too. And those kind of corruption is what we don't want in IPOB. But that will let Onyendu come back. Then he will decide that for himself. And Madananya, when it comes to Madananya's issue, I would like everybody to understand this. That Madananya calls any secretary, a financial secretary, to ask the person to transfer money. It is because it is her duty to do so. She doesn't owe it to anybody else to talk to anybody else. The only time she will probably talk to a unit coordinator is for that unit coordinator to understand that that money is being transferred and the instruction is coming from her. And that's the only time, that's all she owes any coordinator. Nothing else. Anybody she owes any explanation to, Onyendu. Because we know how our leader leads, and we know the things, but not these ones that spends money, that lavishes money. You know, I've forgotten now. I mean, everybody can understand now how they have been splitting money or giving money to themselves. But they will account for this money because they will account. You don't just you see that you 47,000 rand became well. So no surprise for Onyendu. What kind of surprise? Okay, since then, how many years ago? Since then, what kind of what surprise have they put up?
Surprise.
300 and so they needed 200 and something thousand dollars. Okay, let's say they got maybe probably 200,000 or got 100 and something thousand dollars. Where is the money? What did they use the money for? I think people should start asking questions, because they did not give this money to the right source, and people should ask questions. That has been disbursing this cash through the right source, then nobody has any right to ask any question, because this is her duty to do. So at the end of the day, I still want to affirm here, for them to be opening their stupid mouth, their dirty mouth, instead they pay for our lawyers. That is a complete lie. These guys don't pay any lawyer. All the money they've collected, we don't know what they've done with that money. We don't know. The only thing we know is that they created, and I heard him himself now,
ESN outside. Till today, they have not even apologized. They have not said anything, and most of the ESN were killed for no good reason. So, all the people that is listening to us today should understand the fact that Chika Edoziem, I don't miss word. Chika Edoziem, Chinasa Woru, Nuzurumike, all of them are all bad people. Fabundojo, they are wicked, they are criminals, and they should pay for what they have done. And because you cannot take people's money and it doesn't happen. Oh, you go money to the money. And let me clear something here. They say that Chika Edoziem was not being paid. That's a lie. Chika Edoziem now collect 2,000 euro every month. When that money was stopped being paid was where Obido. I noticed when Obido disappoints, he disobey Onyendu's instruction. And in fact, to the extent that the day we were having meeting with them, they requested for fund, and that fund was released to them, and they came to radio station the following day. No, that same day, does not give them fund. This is how wicked these people are. We collect today. If you're on a radio station today, does not release fund to you guys. That is how wicked these people are. So what I'm trying to say here, Buna, if onye ọbụla weta o were isi ebulu nke m weta ya dịrị m onye adụrụ ụmụ m eji isi m wee buru ife ọbụla nweta. But if fancha niile metọkọba na this struggle fanya eji isi wee buru, they don't know what the kind of mess they've gotten themselves into. I keep saying this thing, but fanya echene for na onwe ife mwa ya eme. When I said, oh, they will not get away from this thing. Fire is powerful. Fire is powerful. I don't know what. The fire is powerful. Or is him? Fire is powerful. Or be powerful. Fire be right now. Fire is powerful. When the time is right, fire and water. Now, this is what they did, and that's the reason why they are being punished. Fire is powerful. Get there somewhere. Go and write it down somewhere. Fire is powerful because you cannot eat that does not belong to you. But let me leave it here because, like I said, I can end it for coming out, but you coming out it was too late. But I still give you all the kudos. My brother, I really appreciate you, but Ima, the truth has to be said. You want to go because we saw it and we stood our ground. If we did not stand our ground when we stood our ground, these people would have by now. I don't know what Onyendu would have been able to do because that was their plan. They wanted to decapitate Onyendu, so Onyendu will not be able to do anything. Then you tell me. If somebody that is doing that kind of a thing, so how is he fighting for Biafra? The only source of your strength is equal to off. The only source of your strength is equal to by the knee. I know without ego, you've caught that person by the knee because they need ego for a lot of things. So my brother, Ndewo. And let me leave it here. And Chineke Gosiegi for coming out to do the needful. And I pray and I hope others listening to the voice of wisdom and come out and stop giving these people your money. Stop giving them your money because they distribute it among themselves. They are distributing it among themselves. In the Chika doesn't get on a 5-star hotel. Only they're not on a 5-star hotel or traveler. This is utter ridiculous. But Ndewo. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Mazi Chair, remember that during this period, IPOB attorney was backing them up and was telling them that Onyendu's defense team work on pro bono,
And which was a lie.
which was a big fat lie. Because
Look, I know, Mazi, please hold on, please. Anyway, I know that Chika Edoziem knows that. I know that China Saworu knows that they are not working on pro bono. So this one, Father said,
hold on, Mazi. It was a teamwork because the attorney sees Madam Nnamdi Kanu during that period. And then the message will come from him to the Biafrans. And then Chika Edoziem and China Sanwo-Olu will then pick it up. Have you heard from the attorney? Most of attorneys working for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu work on pro bono until it came to our attention. If you remember, when the message came that we should pay off the son, Ozokome, even though the payment has been consistent, but at that period of time, what was remaining was 25,000, if you remember.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, and Madam Anya gave the instruction that Madam Chinwe, when the money was raised, should go and make that deposit. Because Ozokome was not receiving Naira. He has his account in Bank of America.
Mars, please, what is total money, please? What is total money of the dollar, please? Mention it. It's important.
The entire, for Michael Ozokome, $94,000.
Mars,
Not even
in
converted.
you can't put that before.
Paid to Bank of
Loud
America.
and clear.
The problem, Mazi, the problem still remains that I believe in my whole heart of hearts that Ezokome wouldn't have charged us $94,000 or wouldn't have charged us how much he charged us if I Ejiofor was not the one that told him this is the amount you're going to charge and I have my own percentage in it. But everybody if I put on your metal like this struggle, Messia, if I'm 1 year and Maya, onye ọbụla bụ 1 year, mesịa ife ọbụla mee 1 year omee ya because if ọga nwa bụrụ ife ọga na-alụrụ ọnwa anyị. My father bụ field also well. So ọ bụrụ ọga na-alụrụ ọnwa anyị atọ o nwere the reason why you na-alụ ọga nwa. So onye ọbụla mee ife ọjọọ wee ghara ibe ikwupụta ife o mee ya chelụkwa aka chelu ndị mmụọ because ndị mmụọ ya visit ye.
You see?
Ọ dị n'ọfọ.
So.
Ndewo.
Ndewo, Mazi.
Yeah, Mazi, just takes a little minute light up, so we have to go now. Yeah.
So the whole thing that happened that time, they packaged it very well. The sole attack was on the finance. Chika Edoziem and his group went round to make sure that the finance of IPOB was well attacked. And they started collecting their proceeds. Even though the Ebonyi State Governor, Umahi, made it very clear that he has enough fund to create a parallel IPOB within IPOB. Most of us may not understand what that meant, but that was where and how the damage was made in IPOB. Most of the people get confused or just create a distraction in their midst and let them drift away. And that's what they did. And Chika Edoziem followed the same pattern. Create distraction and let them scatter. That's exactly what they did. And then they attacked the finance. And they're still attacking the finance today. But what I'm saying is that the attack on finance and regarding those who are confused and those who drifted away, that is not going to be the primary journey of Onyendu when he comes out, because he has a more difficult task ahead of them. Look at our neighborhood. Look in our backyard. What is happening in Nigeria today? Go beyond. The Hausas are revolting. He told them, it's no longer Hausa Fulani. It used to be Hausa Fulani. He opened their eyes and said, what has happened to the Hausas? Look at yourself. So, a whole lot of things. He may not even make much move, but the struggle is drifting to different places. And his attention is needed because he cannot keep quiet, because he has laid the foundation, and the foundation he laid is sprouting up in Nigeria, sprouting up in different places in the coast of West Africa. If you think that what Nnamdi Kanu did is not responsible for what is happening within Africa and West Africa, think twice. And he's going to visit most of these things. So we don't know the direction we're going. We don't know where it is drifting to. We don't know what's going to be the situation when he comes out. So like I said before, Mazi, you as an individual still have job in South Africa. Just keep your hands, keep your mind open, and be as eloquent as you have been, because the people in South Africa, some of them going to need you in leadership. You may be the youngest among them, but it doesn't matter. You have the direct vision. You see what others saw and kept quiet. You saw it and you are speaking up. Most people don't have that courage to come out and say the right thing when it happens. Most people don't have that courage. Most people are followers. What are they following? They don't know. They don't understand. That time is coming. Just be prepared and keep it up. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Maazi Nachi, this is the last one. I will not say it's a question, but it's we are just asking you what message you have for those kind of people. You know, this Maazi Zumwe, so when I say things, I mention name. Maazi, what message do you have for people like 1,000 Teeth Methuselah? What message do you have for people like Biafra Child, Opo in Germany? What message do you have like people like As the Light TV, Prince Darlington? What message you have for our sister Achalugo? That they are still believing that Mazin Nankan family is evil. They are still believing that Madam Nyanya embezzle IPOB money, block some money. So what message do you have for people like this? Because you have been there, you have saw it, and you come back. So what message do you have for people like this, Mazin? Then this is the end of
The only thing I can tell these people who believes that Umuwanne Nandekano is Umuwanne, there's a name they always call them, whatever name they give them. The people that believe that Neneaya is busy embezzling our money is Bikono. Can they just one day, one broadcast, just come out plainly and start to mention to Biafrans all over the whole world all that the DOS has achieved? Just in one broadcast, let it be the achievement of DOS. They always jump to say that the DOS has maintained that until what do you call IPOB was not listed as in a terrorist index, which goes in the direction of Simon Ekpa, obviously. But apart from that, if it is the achievement, it's okay. It's okay. I don't have a problem with that. I believe that is not towards the release of Onyendu or towards the restoration of Biafra. Because why we gather here today is all about the restoration of Biafra. So what effort, what have they achieved for the restoration of Biafra? Let them just have one broadcast where they can state clearly the achievement of the DOS. I think we'll take it from there. But if they cannot do that, if they cannot be able to do that, let them sit down and rethink and say and ask themselves a question. Should I support someone that has nothing to say, that has nothing to show, that this is what I have done for my people? Or should I support people regardless of who they are, position they have, or whatever they are, whatever name people call them, but they are able to achieve something and pushing to achieve more? So that is the question they should ask themselves. As for me, Maazi Agannachi, I supported Chika Edoziem and the rest in the sense that they were in charge of all the court cases of Nnamdi Kanu. To be honest, it's only Kanu Takano that told me that it's wrong, and I didn't believe him. So if they are not in diplomatic way for this struggle, what are they doing? So let them. I challenge them. I'm just asking them, all the broadcasters that you mentioned, let them come up one broadcast within 30 minutes. Let them just focus on what the DOS has achieved. Let them praise them. I just want them to mention, when Tinubu goes and make a 30-kilometer, road, at least they host something, then they show the 30-kilometer. They might not mention 30 kilometer. Maybe they only constructed 10, and then they'll say it's 30 kilometers. Let them do such a thing and make a program and show the entire Biafrans what the DOS has achieved. At least from there, we'll forge ahead. They won't watch it.
Mazi, you are welcome to the program. You are welcome. I think, Mazi, I think here we will call it a day. It's almost 3 hours. And I can Mazi Ayannachi for coming to our channel. And as Mazi Emeka just said, for your college, and Mazi Emeka just said that you still have enough to do. You still have enough because you show the spirit of a leader. So you still have a lot to do in South Africa. So keep it on with eziokwu Chineke. Nke with eziokwu Chineke, anyị kenere gị Maazị Ayannachi, you are welcome to the program, anyị kenere gị. Ndewo. So Maazị Chi, onwe ihe ọzọ inwe na-ekwu, so we have to call it a day.
Mba, I want it for somewhere rather than tell him to it doesn't matter who the person is. You stand your ground and tell the person the truth to his face. That will help the cause. Once you stand your ground and you're able to tell anybody, this is the truth and nothing but the truth. Whatever that person should require, but you've satisfied your conscience that you've actually told the person the truth. Like I said before, I appreciate you coming. And more is yet to. You have a lot of work to do, big work to do. So, and you've started. Continue the way you're doing, and we always see you through. And as well, be careful because
Thank you so much.
Maazị Emeka, onwe any other thing inwe ikwu, Maazị Emeka?
No. I think that's it for me. Thank you, Maazị.
Okay. Ndewo. So Biafrans, unu anụgo ya ọkwara no ebe anyị gwara unu ebe a wee eziokwu Chineke, and you have heard from the principal officer from IPOB. We don't have leadership in IPOB. All we have is principal officer from DOS to unit coordinator. That's what we have. So on this note, anyị na-asụ unu onye anyị fụta ka afụ echi ndụ nwoke ndụ nwaanyị onye ndụ anyị maazị Nnamdi Kanu ojelugo ọya natalụ na ọmụmụ egbu ngwu na mma dịrị ya nkọ onye fụrụ maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-eleta ihe mere nwa ya ya eme ya n'ihi na ile na-asị na-egbu ana ọfọ na ogwe nwere mkpochi ọya dịla ya na mma anyị mere maazị Ichie Ọkwarago ayasị ndị code of conduct ihe a na-akpọ na ya n'aka ndị code of conduct bụọ wee na-aga n'ilu ilozo gị ya no ọ bụ ya na-akpọ anyị ndị 5%.
Gaa n'iru.
Che ndị code of conduct kwenu.
Yeah.
Cha ndị code of conduct kwezuonu.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, Biafrans, we thank you all for listening. This is Maazị Ezumezu Nwekwensu. You have heard it from Ossi's mouth. Maazị Nnachi, he said it. It was part of them. Now, Ossi know that not forgo the truth, and he said it. We encourage his college. How about those of them that are still knowing that they have long, but they are still there? People like Methuselah, 1,000 teeth. Be man enough and say the truth. And I challenge you for open debate. And I'm asking no one for that afụ echi. Ndewo no ya. Bye bye.
The movement continues. As I have said before, and I keep saying it. I lead IPOB. People do what I ask them to do. If you cannot do what I ask you to do, you get out of IPOB. You do what I ask you to do. If only you get out, you will open a fake account, you will talk rubbish for 5 or 6 weeks, and you will be forgotten. The movement continues. As I have said before, and I keep saying it. I lead IPOB. People do what I ask them to do. If you cannot do what I ask you to do, you get out of IPOB. You do what I ask you to do. If only you get out, you will open a fake account, you will talk rubbish for 5 or 6 weeks, and you will be forgotten. Do you know that when I was in
In the heart of Biafra's land, where courage blooms, Nnamdi Kanu stands defying darkened tombs. A beacon of hope, a voice unyielding. He fights for justice, freedom, heart's true healing. Maazị Ezumezu Nwekwensu, your spirit ablaze, guiding your people through the tumultuous mazes. From prison walls you sing defiance and truth, a symphony of liberation, unwavering in you. Freedom, freedom, let it echo across the hills, where rivers flow and dreams ascend, where hope fulfills. Biafra's anthem rises, carried by winds so strong, a melody of resilience, a battle cry, a lifelong song. Chains may bind, but not the soul. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, your purpose takes its toll. The world may turn away, blind to your plight, yet your flame burns brighter, igniting the fight. Behind prison bars you weave tales of courage, a tapestry of resistance woven without rage. Your words pierce the silence like sunbeams through rain, calling for freedom's dawn, breaking every